Alright, so when we had last left off, we had started a new adventure where horrible things had happened because someone had to go and get shot. So, of course, we not figure that out. Where is my Switch audio? Oh, there just wasn't any yet. Okay. Okay, is that working the way it's supposed to? I hate how it blips out for me, personally. Anyway. Okay. Turnabout Serenade, the body vanishes. Well, there's a spoiler for me. Ah. I think I gotta alter the audio so it can do this to me. That is a pain. Switch. No. Yeah, because it's doing both where it shouldn't act up like that. At some point, I'm gonna have to troubleshoot that. Whatever. All right. Continuing from where we were. Okay, we were just about to go into the dressing room. Well, actually, no. We heard La Miroir was in the governor's dressing room, so we're going to go with there. July 7, governor's dressing room. Ah, La Miroir. What has happened? I heard that Mr. Latouche has died. La Miroir, you speak? I mean, you speak English? Ah, yes. I was invited here from the Republic of Virginia. But I am not Virginian by birth. But wasn't Mr. Latouche your interpreter? Ah, that. Yes, well, it was Mr. Latouche's idea. He thought that it would add to the mystery, you see. And your pianist is also? No, Machi Tobai is Virginian. He does not speak English. Now please, tell me. What has happened to Mr. Latouche? Why did he... Actually, Mr. Latouche was... Trucy? Huh? Remember what Prosecutor Gavin said? Not a word. But Mr. Latouche is La Miroir's manager. That's not fair to her. I mean, isn't she a related party? Precisely who Prosecutor Gavin doesn't want to alert, I suspect. All we have been told is to wait here in this room. It is very unsettling. I'm sorry, we're trying to figure it out ourselves. Dude, do you think I could ask you some questions? Of course. I'm always willing to help. She's as calm as she looked on stage. I can't put my finger on why, but I like this La Miroir. Lorem ipsum. What is it, Machi? Dolor sitamet. Ade pishing. What? But you'd be alone. Lorem ipsum dolor sitamet. What seems to be the problem? Machi. He's not good around strangers. He wishes to go out for a breath of fresh air. Would that be all right? Sure, of course. Very well. What is it you wish to ask me about? Well, let's see. La Miroir. The Republic of Virginia. That's in Northern Europe, right? I've never even heard of it. I started out singing in a restaurant. Then a producer called me. Before I knew it, here I am. You don't say. You know, my daddy plays piano in a restaurant. Producers tend to look for talent, Trucy. Lametoir, you're not from Virginia originally? Were you born here? Well... Oh, is that supposed to be a secret? Image is everything when you're a star. I know a bit about that, of course. Ah, yes, it is something like this. A contract, you might say. I'm also not to speak anything but Virginian in public. Image is important, I guess. She's not all image, though. Her songs are lovely. A real landscape painter in sound. A painter in what? She travels the world, turning the sight she sees into music. That's the secret to music's beauty, right? You're very perceptive. Oh, I use your songs all the time in my stage act. I don't have to pay royalties for that, do I? Stop while you're ahead, Trucy. This landscape painter in sound, too, is an image. Yet without it, my songs would not be so widely heard. They even call you the Siren of the Ballad, right? Yes, in Virginian, La Miroir means the Siren. I fear that perhaps already I am not the Siren I once was. Bum, bum, bum. Machi. Your pianist, Machi, was it? He's cute, like a porcelain doll. He's very European. I met him while singing in restaurants in Virginia. He is an orphan, yet his playing is exquisite. Soon he came to live with me. It's like a fairy tale almost. I notice he hardly leaves your side. Yes, well, he is blind. At first, I hesitated at dragging him across the world. He doesn't speak English either, does he? He had never left Virginia before we met. I made his presence part of my contract. Machi and I together are La Miroir. Together, always. Oh dear, Mr. Latouze. Mr. Latouze was my new manager. New? Yes, from 3 months ago. Around when I received Mr. Gavin's invitation to come. Oh no. I met Mr. Latouze at my office. He was to be my manager and bodyguard. And, as it turned out, my interpreter. Interpreter? Even though you speak English? Yes. But we were to visit more places than just here. We had a concert in Japan scheduled after this one. Though I fear that many have to be cancelled now. Was Mr. Latouze from the Republic of Virginia too? Well, he was only with me for 3 months. I'm afraid there is much I do not know about him. And now I shall never know. No one will even tell me why he has died. I'm sorry. Prosecutor Gavin said we weren't to talk to anyone. Mr. Latouze was a talented man. The Siren of the Ballad. That phrase was his idea, you know. I am happy for him that it has become so well known. The Siren, that's what he meant. Yeah. Quick on the pickup, Apollo. Huh? Apollo? You're the Siren, right, La Miroir? That is the meaning of my name in Virginian, yes. It was the name my producer gave me, but why do you ask? It's very important. I had to know for sure if the Siren was you. What do you mean, important? I'll tell you. You deserve to know. The Siren. The Siren. Turns out that's a very important word in this case. How? When we found Mr. Latouze, he was still alive. What? I heard him say something. His last words. Mr. Latouze, can you hear me? Ask witness? Hang in there, Mr. Latouze. Tell me, who is the witness? The witness is Siren. He said Siren! Really? I was the only one to hear it, but I'm sure that's what he said. Mr. Latouze said that? Ask the witness? You're the Siren, Lamirar. Did you see what happened? Lamirar? Might I ask, are you with the police? Well, no, I'm a defense attorney. An attorney? Yet there had been no arrest, yes? Is that a problem? Does an attorney not work for a client? If you have no client, you should leave the investigation to the police, I think. But Lamirar, I'm sorry, but I cannot answer your questions. I'm afraid you lack the authority to ask them. Why? If she witnessed a crime, why won't she tell us? I believe we are through here. I believe so. Good heck. Let's point the gun at Musky. This is not good to show. This is not a position to show. This is the position to show. That reminds me. Does this brooch look familiar to you? My brooch? Yes, well, it may be mine. Yours, Lamirar? I was wearing a brooch earlier, you see. I must have lost it. Well, that explains the brooch we found. It was Lamirar's. Thank you. I was wondering where I dropped it. So this brooch belongs to her. That begs the question. Is something wrong, Apollo? What was this brooch doing at the crime scene? Is this your gun, Lamirar? Would you mind taking it with this, Lamirar? I'm sorry, I'm not sure what to say. I wish I could help you. Don't worry about it. Certainly one of the most pleasant refusals I've had. You didn't get snackooed. Alright, let's see if she responds to that. No, she doesn't care. My poor audio. I'm gonna have to do something about this for the heck. It's only on the Switch, so it's some problem with the capture card. But it's not the capture card per se, because it theoretically goes out to stream fine, and it records fine. It's something about the way OBS is sending audio through it. Anyway. The audio really breaks up for me. I was mentioning that last time. Okay, we'll check out elsewhere since we seem to be done here. July 8, 12:22 a.m. Backstage hallway. Whoa, who's there now? Ah, it's you. Where were you? Ah, Emma. Is something wrong? She looks grumpier than usual. You bet something's wrong. The impossible's happened. Ah, it's all your fault, you know. Oops. Maybe this is about a living crime scene. What do you mean by impossible? Well, it's gone. Utterly gone. What's gone? The body, stupid. What else? Huh? Mr. Latouze's body's disappeared. What? July 8, Lamiroir's dressing room. Ah, Apostrophe Gavin. From your vacant stare, I gather you've heard the news. I heard Mr. Latouze's body's gone missing. Look for yourself. Well, it sure is. Quite the pickle. Quite the pickle. How can you just stand there? We have to start the investigation. There's no need for alarm, Fräulein Detective. All entrances and exits have been sealed. The body will not leave the building. So I suggest we go find ourselves a cadaver. There will be plenty of time to ponder the whys later. Well, you seem pretty sure of yourself, Mr. Gavin. Oh, we'll find him. I'm rather enjoying this. How could Mr. Latouse's body just disappear? Suspiciously as much, he left the room. Well, you heard the man. Let's get searching. Hey, I don't know if this is exactly the right time, but... Yes, Darren? See, Gator's gone missing. It was in the dressing room. Gator? Who's Gator? Geet Finkus? That's what I call my guitar. You like, man? Your guitar was stolen? This hasn't been a good day for guitars or Geeters. Okay, body first, then guitar. And if someone finds that guitar, please bring it to our dressing room. Gator's like a missing person, not lost and found, man. Okay, we can talk about the disappearing act. Well, this sure is a... what did he call it? A sausage? No, wait, it was a pickle. And it's your pickle. I told you to stay in the room. Sorry. How much else I can say? It's alright. Top priority now is finding that body. You can make it up to me later. 10 bags or so of chocolate snackoos should do the trick nicely. You should watch your sugar intake, Emma. 10 bags of snackoos. Alright, so let's go ahead and examine the... hopefully not everything all over again, but... you know, not every shadow, but any shadow. There should be a body here, but there's not. How could this have happened? And why? Gun is still there. 45 caliber revolver, very deadly. You know, Apollo, I was wondering, what's a caliber? And what does the 45 mean? Huh? You want me to tell you? It's the size of the barrel. Simply put, the larger the caliber, the bigger the round. The bullet, in other words. Bigger bullets do more damage. Wow, Chuck went up for 1 point up for forensic science. You know it. But it's not 45 inches, right? That'd be too big. What's the unit of measurement they use, Miss Science? Well... Hush, kids shouldn't ask so many questions. Well, the unit is the caliber, of course. Isn't that how that works? Okay, nothing else seems to show changed, except the body is gone. Is there anything in particular that she should be shown? Don't think so. Is there any news reviewing that brooch? Brooch. No. Okay. Any news out here? This thing. Shall we return to La Miroir? We're still looking for a body and a guitar. Oh, you're not here. Oh, hold on. I went to the wrong room. I went to the room that was labeled La Miroir, which is not where La Miroir is supposed to be. I've almost done it again. Oh, now she's gone. Yeah, that's nice. Totally fine. We'll just make sure nobody has stowed a body in the makeup bags or his plastic plate of stew. Okay. To the stage again, I suppose. Again, checking for changes. July 8, 12:57 a.m. in the wings. Does something seem different to you, Apollo? Something is definitely different here. Let's check it out. Is it that? Alright, we'll check it out. That stage there must have been lowered before. That's the tower that Le Miroir and Prosecutor Gavin were singing on. Someone must have raised it. I don't see a way to control it from here. Apollo, what about that ladder there against the wall? We could use that to take a look up top. Maybe we should get Emma? What are you talking about? We have to see this sort of thing for ourselves. I'm not so good with heights. Stop whining and start climbing. Well, we're doomed. It didn't look that high from below, really. When we got to the top, I felt every one of those 15 feet down. Of course, I wasn't thinking about the height anymore. Not after what we found up there. We found two things we were looking for, and one thing we never expected to find. The guitar, a corpse, and another corpse? Anda. Body, guitar in hand, and the pianist, Machi Tabai. Did the both of them, maybe? July 8, 10:09 a.m. Write Anything Agency. Wow, that concert last night sure went south in a hurry. No kidding. Why did they arrest Machi? Why? Don't look at me like it's my fault. Machi Tabai, the blind pianist. Arrested on suspicion of murdering Romain Latouze. I can't believe such a cute little boy could do something so horrible. I guess they had proof of some kind. What proof could possibly prove that? Morning. Prosecutor Gavin. What a night, eh? I apologize for being so upset. Mr. Gavin, do you know what's going on? Why did they arrest Machi? Why? Don't look at him like it's his fault either. It was tough for me, too. We performed together that night after all. Yet? The powers that be say that, given the circumstances, it could only have been him. What do you mean by the circumstances? La Miroir was invited from Virginia as an ambassador of goodwill. It is vital that this case be wrapped up swiftly. That's all the powers that be want, really. Well, those are circumstances, all right. But what makes Machi the only possible suspect? Herr Freund, you seem to have forgotten that you're talking to the prosecution, the enemy. Ah, right. I think I like this side of Prosecutor Gavin better, actually. I'm not at liberty to discuss the particulars of the case. Especially not the defense attorney. What did you just say? Me? The defense attorney? That's what I came to tell you. He's down at the detention center. He wants to request your services. He? You mean Machi? Machi wants me? This is what we've been waiting for, Apollo. Let's get going. All right. Good luck. I'm off to question La Miroir. Right, later. I'm up to this. July 8, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. Well, I just don't get it. I refuse to believe a cute little kid like that could do something so terrible. You said that already. Machi, everything's going to be okay. We're here for you. Maybe you can tell me about last night? Lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. Huh? Adipation. It velit sim. That was when I realized how tough it must be. A little kid like this? In a country so far from everything he's ever known? Maybe La Miroir can help? But didn't Prosecutor Gavin say she was with him? Good luck. I'm off to question La Miroir. Well, what are we gonna do? That's, a good question. I can't think of anything we can do but go with this. And hope for the best at the trial tomorrow? Lorem ipsum dolor sit amet. Lorem ipsum. Alright, to be continued. Oh boy, oh no. Oh no, oh boy. Let's save that progress. We'll get cooking. Save complete. Alright. We'll continue. We have some time before we switch to our next game. July 9, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for... How do I say that? Machi Tobai, Your Honor. The Pixie of the Arpeggio. Right. His trial. Court is in session. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is A-OK, Herr Judge. Very well. Prosecutor Gavin? My opening statement, yeah? No, actually. There was something else I wanted to ask you about. Yes? So you're going to visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them? Huh? I mean, you wouldn't say, get well soon, right? You'd only be kicking them when they're down. What are you talking about? Actually, I'm going to visit someone who is terminally ill. Right after this trial. The Chief Justice's son. The Chief Justice? His son is afflicted with a most terrible disease. He doesn't have long, it seems. So I thought I'd go pay him a visit. I thought saying something moving might be the order of the day. Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending? She's looking at me with something like disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? In any case, I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement, briefly. You're in luck, Herr Judge. I believe you'll be going on your hospital visit sooner than you think. First, to review the victim in this case. Romain Letouze, age 35. The global manager for Diva Songstress La Miroir. The cause of death, blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details. The court accepts this into evidence. Letouze's autopsy report added to the court record. Death due to loss of blood from a gunshot wound. Estimated time of death, 9 to 9:30 p.m. 45 caliber, that's quite large, isn't it? Hold on, I'm going to review this myself. Victim's name, Romain Letouze, age 35, male. Time of death, July 7, between 9 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. Cause of death, blood loss due to 45 caliber bullet wound. Time elapsed between shooting and death, currently under review. Anyway, 45 caliber, that's quite large, isn't it? A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet. And he was knocked forward like he was standing against the wall, so he probably got shot through that little window. Also, yes, because the bullet hole in the far wall. However, the bullet struck him in his shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved. I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse, considering. Crime photo added to the court record. Victim shot in shoulder in La Miroir's room. 2 shots were fired. One shot missed. The other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found in the wall at the scene. Observe the diagram. Oh. This is where the bullets hit. I see. The court accepts this evidence. Diagram added to the court record. I'd have to look at it, though. Crime scene was La Miroir's dressing room. Yeah, he was definitely standing very close to the wall when he fell. So if that's also the case, if he had been standing that close to the wall to fall forward and have the gunshots in that wall, then why is the gun on the other side of it? Someone would have had to throw the gun through the window, or some other shenanigans are at play. If we're talking about a .45 caliber revolver, we must assume that the killer was adept at the weapon's use. Really? Yeah, apparently weapons that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, it'd break every bone in his body. The defense will take more care in choosing examples. As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room. This dressing room has only one entrance, this door. That does seem to be the case, yes. However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots. He's talking about you and Emma, huh? Yet when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty save for the victim's body, of course. But that's impossible. Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person. One person. That is, of course, the defendant, Machi Tabai. Only this defendant could have committed the crime? But how? It's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime scene make it clear. Very well. I assume you have testimony to back up this claim. Please show the witness to the stand. Your name and profession, please. Emma Sky. I'm a detective for the police department. I was on the security detail at the concert forum that night. Emma seems tired somehow. Security at the concert, you say? Some security I was. Couldn't even stop a murder. Now, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know. I'm sure that makes her feel much better. I want to hear about these bigger mistakes. In any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered. And we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony if you would. Describe the circumstances of that day and your discovery of the crime, please. All right. Witness testimony. Murderous circumstances. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it. Suspicion. It was lucky that a detective was the first on the scene. But that door was the only way out of the room, right? Yeah, pretty much. Then I don't get it. How can they say that Machi did it? Looks like we need a bit more information. Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Cross-examination. Murderous circumstances. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at the prosecutor Gavin's request. And the night of the murder was the night of the concert, yes? That's right. What was a detective doing on security detail, I'd ask? If it was only a concert. My thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods. Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, allow me to... I smelled something that day, you might say. The stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall. Conspiracy? Well, isn't it obvious? My keys. That whole morning, no, the whole day was ruined. And it's all because someone stole my keys. I couldn't ride my hog to the show. I couldn't open my guitar case. There he goes again. Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them? Misplaced them? Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder victim's hand on their own. What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hand, that makes you a prime suspect. Love, slow acting and new. Atraquinine is waiting for you. He's singing something. Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top? The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was, like a sailor, adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen. So I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task. I see. I can accept that. Well, I can't. What do you mean, time on their hands? Please, the testimony. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. Oop, I don't know. Like, I was backstage. We were let in, though. I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you. I gave the Fräulein special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again. Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now. Gee, great. Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off. So, no other outsiders were there then. And then, at the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots. You were the one chatting. I was eating snackoos. Ah, hey, no snacking in court. And you're sure the shots came from La Miroir's room? Yes, absolutely. Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, this'll keep you quiet. Bonk. Oh, thanks. So, he's munching. How about it, Ebba? She's munching too. You were right there. Hard to be mistaken about that. Please, either talk or eat. Not both at the same time. Right, so after that, me and Mr. Lawyer there opened the dressing room door. I I went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body.
Hold it!
Rock? Blaring, yes.
When you say rock, are you referring perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days?
That's right, we went into the dressing room. Music was blaring over the speaker on the wall. They pipe sound from the stage into the backstage through speakers. That way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage. Did it have to be so loud?
You don't listen to the Governors with your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul. I always have the backstage monitors at full volume.
When we walked in the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime.
If you could hear that music playing, then everyone on stage for that song has an alibi. Except maybe a person who missed a cue? Or who caused a cue to be missed? Including myself.
Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it. How could you know something like that? As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen, we know there was only one exit from the room, that door. A small window only opened a tiny crack, and I was standing in front of that door. So how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility, the air vent.
Objection!
But that air vent was too small. Who could possibly... Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get through, nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child. A child? Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed.
And of all the people involved with the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child. The defendant. The pixie of the arpeggio flitted up toward the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime.
Objection!
But that's just conjecture.
Oh, there was no other way out of that room. You were there. You should know, Herr Forehead.
And there's another vital piece of evidence.
Evidence? What?
Marks were found on the air vent grill. Traces that it had recently been opened.
Wait, what?
And something else was found quite clearly. The defendant, Machi Tabay's fingerprints.
What? Order, order, order. That air vent was the only way out of the room. It doesn't even need to come from that backpack. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, Herr Forehead, what fairy tale does this suggest to you? Only one could pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that one is our pixie.
Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was out whooping it up in the audience.
So this was the decisive evidence. Quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. Hmm? The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive. I believe we've heard enough to determine our verdict, even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit. I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough. Can't be over already. Very well, I believe this trial is finished. If the defense has no contradicting evidence, the prosecution has presented our proof, clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it had better be clear and plain. I don't know if I have clear and plain. Possibly the gun.
Apollo! They've got us on the ropes already! We'd better come up with something quick!
I know. Think, what can get us out of this? We need evidence or a witness that can prove Machi's innocent beyond a doubt. Without that... Mr. Justice, do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you'd better tell us about it now. This is it, and so soon. If I mess this one up, it's all over. Well, okay, so probably I'm wrong because the victim said that she was a witness. Court wants contradicting proof? I'll a witness. Prosecutor Gavin, you claim there were no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I'd swear it on my career as a prosecutor. And on my million-seller hit song, Atroquinine, My Love. There he goes again. That's too bad, because there was a witness. Oh, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge the prosecution clearly does not? Because I'm the only one in the world who knows this. What's going on? I just talked to him, and now... He's alive. Mr. Latouze, can you hear me? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold. Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help is on the way. Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Latouze. Tell me, who is the witness? The witness is Siren. What? The victim said this before he died? Perhaps he did. And perhaps he did not. I also noticed in addition to the witness is the siren, he also said, can't see? Which isn't necessarily referring to himself. Just say it. What do you mean by that? All we know is what Herr Forehead says he said. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorney himself.
Objection!
But it's the truth. He said it. I even told you about it. But apparently you ignored me completely. It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly, this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job. That's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear, contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution. I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty. Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for. There's no backing out now. Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice. La Miroir.
Take that!
La Miroir? Recall Mr. Latouze's last words.
witnesses siren.
The siren. Aha, he meant the siren.
That's right, the siren of the ballad, La Miroir. La Miroir was only on stage for the second set. She had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness.
I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? My claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime. Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We will now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please show La Miroir to the witness stand.
La Miroir would say nothing the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today we'll drag that story out of her no matter what it is.
Well, not today. Because we're going to take the opportunity
To switch games. And we'll come back to this the next time.